All right, President-elect Joe Biden is about to be one step closer to the White House, with members of the Electoral College set to officially vote for him today. However, President Trump and his supporters remain defiant as they refuse to accept Biden's projected victory. Pro-Trump demonstrators rallied over the weekend, some turning violent in Washington, D.C., where several people were stabbed and a few black churches were targeted. Ben Tracy is following the latest from the White House.
No, I worry about the country having an illegitimate president. That's what I worry about.
Joe Biden won the election by more than 7 million votes, but that hasn't stopped President Trump or his supporters who gathered in Washington, D.C. this weekend from continuing to say the election was stolen. Some demonstrations turned violent, with at least 4 people stabbed Saturday night as pro- and anti-Trump groups clashed in the streets. And D.C. police are investigating potential hate crimes against at least 2 black churches after Black Lives Matter banners were torn down. On the eve of the Electoral College vote, a new CBS News poll finds 82% of Trump supporters do not consider Joe Biden's win legitimate. Yet overall, 62% of the nation's voters feel the election is over and settled and it's time to move on. Some Republicans, like Senator Lamar Alexander, say today's Electoral College vote for Biden should be the final word.
It's very hard to say that Joe Biden's not validly elected after Monday if all that happens.
President Trump is not moving on.
They say I lost. I didn't lose. The election was rigged.
Yet the president continues to lose in court, now saying the U.S. Supreme Court chickened out Friday night when 7 justices, including all 3 Trump appointees, refused to hear a case to overturn the election results in several swing states. And tonight, after the Electoral College vote, President-elect Biden plans to address the country. His team says he will continue to reach out to the president's supporters.
And to bring in those folks who may not, they may not have supported him. They're disappointed in President Trump not winning. But he's made the case that, he's going to listen to him.
And Ben Tracy is joining us now from the White House. Ben, as you pointed out, the president's language in his tweets and some of the interviews that he's given continues to be unhinged. He's calling the Supreme Court, he says that they chickened out. He's calling the governor of Georgia a fool. What is his game plan? What are you hearing from the White House after the Electoral College certifies President-elect Biden's win, especially after the Supreme Court refused to hear the president's latest legal challenge on Friday? In one of his tweets, he said it would be illegal for the electors to do so. It is not.
It is not. I think you can expect more of the same. You're going to hear the president continue to say that this election was stolen from him, that it was rigged. When it comes to the legal options, those really ran their course over the last couple of weeks, and they've gone nowhere. The Trump campaign has not been successful to any meaningful degree with any lawsuit that it has filed. And the Supreme Court refusal to hear this case when they made that decision on Friday, that really was the final nail in the coffin. And that was a tough one for the president, because he has long said that he thought the Supreme Court would ultimately decide this election and inferred that they would decide it in his favor. But even the 3 Trump appointees on the Supreme Court refused to hear the case as well. So that was a pretty stinging defeat for the president. Now, we should keep in mind, after today, yes, today should be the final word, but in fact, it is not the actual final word. January 6th, Congress will meet in session. They actually open the votes from the Electoral College. This is usually just a procedural thing where they tally up the votes, and then the president of the Senate, who happens to be Vice President Mike Pence, would officially announce the winner of the election. But there is talk that some Republicans in Congress plan to challenge some of the votes from some of the states and kind of make a scene of this on January 6th. That likely won't go anywhere, because the Constitution says that you need agreement from both houses of Congress to any challenge to the results. With the Democrats controlling the House of Representatives, it's unlikely that they're going to overturn any of these results for Joe Biden.
Ben, no doubt Joe Biden's inauguration is going to be unconventional. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. I imagine fewer people will be invited as a result, but I'm sure President Trump would be issued an invitation. Do you know whether or not he'll be attending?
It would be customary for the current president to attend the inauguration of the incoming president. The president's been asked about this a couple of times. Back on Thanksgiving, he was very coy. He said he knows the answer to the question, in that he has made up his mind what he's going to do, but he would not reveal it. He was then asked again this weekend in an interview with Fox News if he planned to attend the inauguration, and he said, "I don't want to talk about that." There has been speculation that the president will do a bit of counter-programming on that day, that he will leave the White House, fly down to Florida, and have a big rally around the same time that Joe Biden is inaugurated. Keep in mind, attending the inauguration is an event where President Trump would not have a speaking role, and he would be sitting there in front of the cameras as the designated loser of the election. It's unlikely that's something he's going to want to do.
Yeah, probably. Ben, we've got to cut this conversation short. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.